Each year, millions of dollars are spent preparing for, responding to, and recovering from data breaches. Cybercriminals' motives and targets vary, and their methods evolve along with innovations in information technologies. In this training, you'll learn about typical cyber threats, reflect on the security of your own sensitive information, consider your status as a target. We'll learn about the steps of cyber attacks and explore how everyone involved can better protect against cyber threats. Think about the different ways your information can be stolen non-digitally. Discarded documents are shuffled through, PINs and passcodes are observed while you input them. Passwords that are written down are easy prey. Sensitive documents can be stolen. Your license and other important cards can be taken from a wallet or purse. Now consider how you protect against these attacks. Security guards patrol a building, alarm systems track movement and facility access. Records are locked up, discarded documents are properly disposed of. These non-digital attacks and the security measures we take to guard against them each have a digital counterpart. In fact, since these threats occur invisibly, they can be even more invasive, effective, and difficult to counter. So, what are the main types of cyber threats your organization is likely to face? Some of the most common threats include malware, ransomware, phishing, hacking, distributed denial of service, and even threats from on-site personnel. Let's briefly discuss each of these. Malware, short for malicious software, can come in the form of a virus, worm, or similar code, primarily aimed at causing damage or providing unauthorized access to a system. These may or may not include file attachments, and they're becoming continuously more sophisticated. Ransomware is a type of malware literally aimed at holding a person's information hostage, with the threat of continued lockout, deletion, or exposure. Phishing is another very common method cybercriminals use to gain access to information or computer networks. Have you ever heard the phrase phishing for compliments? This is when someone creates an opening for themselves to receive praise from others. The same is true of this cybercrime, but with typically more serious consequences. Communications like emails or texts are sent out from seemingly legitimate sources with the aim of confirming active contact information, gathering confidential information such as social security or credit card numbers, receiving money, obtaining passwords, and other sensitive information. In most cases, the phishing scam will look like it comes from a trusted organization or contact. Since phishing depends on the action of human users more so than a direct attack on a system, these cybercriminals use what is termed social engineering to get people to do what they want. They literally play on your emotions through psychological tactics that inspire curiosity, sympathy, greed, fear, and urgency, or rely on familiarity to disguise red flags. It is important to realize that phishing scams can come from any form of digital access: web pages, emails, texts, voicemails, and the like. Artificial intelligence is now being used to develop what are called deep fakes, images, video, or sound bites that appear real but are driven by AI. These are used to create false records to incriminate others or at least fool recipients. Hacking is an example of a direct attack on a system stereotypically from outside the organization, but potentially from existing personnel. Other insider attacks include stealing information directly, baiting others with virus-laden USB drives left in the open, sometimes with tempting labels like private or promotions, or even direct sabotage or theft of equipment. It's therefore important to employ both physical and digital protections and deterrents to cyber attacks. Especially detrimental for organizations that provide crucial services or for which downtime is particularly costly is a distributed denial of service, or DDoS. This attack is an attempt to disrupt the normal traffic of a targeted system by overwhelming it with a flood of internet traffic, effectively slowing down access or shutting a server or system down completely. Imagine how such an attack might affect your organization. This was a long list, and there are other vulnerabilities and versions of each we have not explored. The diversity of attack forms and methods grows continually, and for this reason, it's best for each employee to guard against any suspicious communications or activities and to accept the heightened restrictions and precautionary steps IT personnel may implement. Typical targets include government organizations, financial services, medical facilities, and other high-profile targets. Given that you might not consider yourself to be a risk, you can relax and let IT take care of everything, right? Absolutely false. Let's take a more individualized look at cyber attacks to see why this is. Go back to our conversation on how information can be stolen non-digitally. We live within an Internet of Things, where our devices are all connected, storing information, and often sharing that information without our knowledge. Our computers, phones, cars, smart appliances, fitness watches, alarm clocks, and many other devices we use every day are collecting and communicating information about us. On its own, this information usage is meant for convenience and to improve services. Combine this with malicious intent, however, and that same information can be used against you. In our connected world, this is true no matter where we are. In our work environment, whether you work in an office, in the field, or remotely, the information to which you have access is valuable to cybercriminals. Do not assume you are unimportant to a cybercriminal and won't be a target. Your passwords are most likely already compromised, and you may be their doorway into your organization or contacts. Cyber attacks are advanced, persistent threats, meaning they are well thought out and the threat is never going away. Preventing, preparing for, and recovering from a cyber attack requires an understanding of the process a cybercriminal follows to carry out their crime. Cybercriminals first gather information and then use it to develop an informed and effective attack. They use social engineering or other methods to deliver a malicious attack aimed at system vulnerabilities. Ultimately, malware is installed and victims and their systems can then be manipulated to achieve the criminal's goals. If any of these steps can be blocked through a cybersecurity system or protocol, the whole sequence can be disrupted. These attacks are persistent and determined, so information security must be carried out consistently and diligently, and you play a key role. The most obvious defenders in the fight for cybersecurity are the information technology or IT team. In your organization, this might be dozens of people, one or two individuals, or it could be there are no designated IT personnel, and these responsibilities fall within the duties of another role. Assuming there is a designated IT person or team, they should be well-funded and supported through training opportunities, accepting requests for software upgrades, and provided with access to systems at what might be considered inconvenient times when necessary, even if this interrupts service for a short period. Cyber threats are active 24/7. IT personnel should be educating other employees on how to protect their unique systems. A good best practice is to test your own systems and protocol using simulated attacks, and use false phishing emails to help train personnel to better recognize them. They also must develop an emergency response plan in the event of a viral attack. Further prevention methods include regular system backups, maintenance of software patches, and heightened diligence for attacks in the final days leading up to planned software updates. Criminals tend to target vulnerabilities just before they are set to be fixed. Supervisors and managers are responsible for ensuring IT receives the funding and authority required to maintain system security. If you're a small group, this means setting time and money aside for maintaining information security and network integrity, even if it appears to be your lowest priority at the time. This includes maintaining robust security software, backup systems, Find My Device capabilities for stolen hardware, requiring multi-factor authentication, and even investing in cybersecurity insurance. Supervisors are responsible for nurturing a security-focused culture in the workplace. A poorly executed prevention plan will turn into an emergency at some point and suddenly become priority one for yourself and your customers. Also, as you develop innovative approaches, build in cybersecurity. For example, work-from-home options come with their own set of risks. For everyone, general protocol includes strategies like setting strong, unique passwords based on recommended parameters, changing those passwords on a monthly basis, using external drives that are kept exclusively in-network, supporting software updates and patches, being careful with social media settings, employing a virtual private network when working from a home or a public network, and simply being cautious in your communications. Never share personal information digitally. Having a known and easy reporting process for cybersecurity suspicions or concerns is also crucial, as well as working with your team to develop and implement a response and recovery plan that complements your prevention plan. Think about what we've covered in this training. Did you identify any areas of weakness in your own cybersecurity? Is there room for improvement? Perhaps you don't know when the last time your prevention, response, and recovery plans were reviewed, or if they even exist. Now is the time to find out. As you identify gaps in your cybersecurity, investigate additional resources and strategies to help you stay in front of the threat. During this training, we explored common cyber threats and their targets, along with the steps of a cyber attack and the role you play in ensuring information security. Cybercriminals are becoming ever more sophisticated with the aim of deceiving you and your security systems. No single training can protect you from a cyber attack. It is up to you and your team to maintain software and hardware protections and to adopt and maintain good habits to maintain network and information security.